and he was able to, because I'm not a musician, but he was able to conceptualize what I was bring my concepts into reality.
Okay, so House Party is my favorite if I have to choose. I love them all, but if I have to choose, House Party is mine. What's yours on either one of the CDs?
You Got Me Thinking.
You Got Me Thinking?
Yeah.
Why?
I just.
That's on the Love CD.
Yeah, it is. I just like it. It's just.
Give me a couple of lines from it.
I have said my goodbyes to shrines of pride and them games that folks play, like putting masks on lies, cause you got me thinking. You got me thinking things. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Okay, go ahead.
I just like it. The music, it just money. It's just money. It just fit. It just worked. All of it works, but that's just my favorite. Yeah, it's just my favorite.
Well, you mentioned money, so we're gonna flip-flop to a more serious subject, and that's Emmett Till and Money, Mississippi.
Woo! Man.
So, talk to me about Money. You said Money, Mississippi is the birthplace. Is what is it? Is Satan's birthplace?
Yeah, Money, Mississippi is Satan's birthplace, and so Satan don't even vacation in Money, Mississippi anymore, because that's where Jim Crow is. So I did a lot of research for that poem. It was actually a poem I wrote for this reading that I did with Nikki Giovanni. She was doing this book about the greatest poems by African American poets. And there was a couple of poems by Lucille Clifton about Emmett Till, and I decided to write this poem. I did a lot of research, and it just was really, really close to home, because Jackson, Mississippi, Money, Mississippi are not far from where I grew up in the South. I grew up in Shreveport, so that's really not that far, probably less than 200 miles away from where I grew up. Yeah.
There's a line that just hits me every time when he says, "Mama, you act like I ain't never coming back." And that's how I hug my son.
You act like I ain't never coming back. Yeah. I tried to imagine the conversation they had that morning before she put him on the train. She was telling the baby, act right. You know what I mean?
Right.
Act right when you go down south. But he's a kid.
He's a kid.
And it wasn't that he did anything wrong. He was just being a kid. He didn't do anything wrong.
That's the thing. We can't prepare ourselves. We can't fight against these crazy laws that don't mean anything. These
crazy people.
Or crazy people. Like we're fighting against rules. We're setting our sons and daughters up for rules that are just ridiculous. Okay, no more than 3 of y'all can be in a car at the same time. And we're setting them up for stuff that none of it makes sense. Don't look them in the eye.
Yeah.
We can't. What year is this again?
So I felt like I wanted to give Emmett a voice, and I felt like there was no music that I could do that poem to except it blues. It had to be a blues.
And the track was lovely.
Had to be blues, yeah.
Say more about, you have a quote, sometimes Sundays ain't got nothing to do with the Sabbath.
Yeah, well, the Sabbath's supposed to be a day of rest, where people, they could take a rest from your sorrows and all the things that are, that's what the Sabbath means.
Right.
But originally the Sabbath was on a Saturday, but now we celebrate the Sabbath on a Sunday. You know what I mean? So the idea that sometimes Sunday ain't got nothing to do with the Sabbath. Sometimes Sunday ain't got nothing to do with a day of rest. Where people come together. You know what I mean? And treat each other right. You know what I mean? And love. Be with your family. So that's what it related to about Emmett's life and what he went through.
And I love the line, bloated caskets cannot be secret.
Nah, because his mom was determined that she was going to keep it open. I mean, he was such a grotesque corpse. He was so grotesque after the things they did to him.
What did you compare him to? A 50s impressionist art? What did you say it? How you say it?
A 50s impressionist statue.
Yes.
If you ever seen those pictures like paintings by Picasso, right? And you see how, the ear may be on the top of the head.
Yeah.
you know, the eye may be where the mouth, you know what I'm saying? Everything is out of place. And that's what happened to him. He went from being this beautiful